Okay, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to give a hearty Shalom to all you sincere Akim out there, pushing His word in all truth and sincerity, week in and week out, day in and day out, following this law, statutes, and commandments, and adhering to the words of the Lord. And any Akwath that are out there doing the same, adhering to the words of the Lord. We'll come out here another week to prophesy and preach, and bring in the fold and bring in the elect, and that's what it's all about. It's all about bringing in the elect in the nation of Israel, right? We are like fishers fishing for men. We are like watchmen watching the house to make sure that the house is ready for any type of danger that may come. That's our duty, to warn the people, okay? And we do it free of charge. We ain't gonna come up here and talk about how this is, it's a free course. We come out here. We come out here on the weekly, all right. And we do it for basically the people's sake, right? We do it first and foremost for our sake. We know that there's salvation in doing this, right? And even Paul said this, but he does it. Paul even said he does it for the elect's sake, right? So we come out here week in, week out to show Israel their transgressions and bring them back to the Lord, because Israel is wicked, man. They're wicked, and they have to be, brought back into the right order of things. Then when that happens, we know that the kingdom will come. So. The reason why I'm kind of going into this is because you got these Jehovah, Wiccans over here, and they're like they got this little banner up that says free course, as if that's supposed to be something like, a good thing. But this is what Paul said, so go ahead.
1 Corinthians 9:18. What is my reward then? Verily that when I preach the gospel.
So Paul asked the question, what is my reward for basically coming out here? There really isn't much of a tangible reward. We actually get scoffed at and mocked at a lot of times. The scriptures talk about how the world was going to hate you because it hated the Lord. So we ain't coming out here to try to be friends with anybody or try to come with some gimmicks or like that to fool the people. Because a lot of people come out with gimmicks to try to fool the people to be liked by the people. But who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ was not liked by the masses of people. He was very stern. All right, he came out here and taught things and put at variance the families. Okay, so there wasn't a liking to him. So we kind of had that same, demeanor. We were warned that this was going to happen to us, right? So what is really our reward if we're going to be hated by people, right? Go ahead.
Yep. 1 Corinthians 9:18. What is my reward then? Verily that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Hamashiach without charge.
So we shall make it without charge, meaning we won't. She ain't gonna be no price to it. So when Paul preached the gospel, he did it without charge, and it basically made it seem like, well, what is your reward then?
Yep.
The disciples, when they said they gave up family, gave up lives to follow Yahushua, and they said, or who you even called Jesus Christ, they gave up all that, and they said, well, what's going to be our benefit? Like, why we did all this? What are we going to receive? And the Lord Yahushua said, this is what you're going to receive. You're going to receive 100-fold. They gave up a lot. Okay, go ahead.
And continuing, it says that I abuse not my power in the gospel.
Yep.
For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more.
See, exactly. So he doesn't abuse his power knowing that he has power. Like wicked scribes and Pharisees did that. They abused their power and their authority, right? And the knowledge in the scriptures. And the other thing is like us, we make ourselves a sacrifice unto men. Like I said, we come out here on a Saturday to show Israel and to bring Israel back and like a shepherd leading his flock. That's what we come out here to do. We do that for Israel's sake, man. So we're kind of like, in a way, we're imprisoned to the people. We come out here for our people, which our people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. We come out here willing to debate with people, right? Because the scriptures talk about debating thy cause with thy neighbor. All right, we're trying to persuade you by the terrors of the Lord. That's our job, all right, as prophets, according to the scriptures, all right? And we're willing to debate because that's what the scriptures say. But ultimately, it's for to save your life, all right? And to ultimately then, in return, save our own. And if someone can get that, I do all things for the elect's sake. But now go get that real quick in the NKJV, because it, basically further brings the point home.
1 Corinthians 9:18. What is my reward then? That when I preach the gospel, I may present the gospel of Hamashiach without charge, that I may not abuse my authority in the gospel. For though I am free from all men, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win the more.
There you go. That was the NKJV?
God.
Hold on 1 second. Um, oh yeah, that was it. All right, yeah. I mean, and you can look up. Can you look up the word charge?
Charge. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I can read it in the RSV.
RSV.
Yeah, RSV.
Okay, God. You want me to get the charge first?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
All right. So that word for charge in the Greek, adapanos, it says without expense,
Yep.
requiring no outlay, costing nothing.
No, costing nothing. So, like,
Costless.
just basically to get on that, like, that's kind of gets like I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, it's a free course. Like, they ain't no, it's supposed to be free. We don't come out here for now. Will we take tithes? Will we take donations? Absolutely, but we're also not going to charge you donations. We're not going to pass a plate around. If you came up and gave us $10, I mean that's on you. Like, there's a reward for yourself in that. But we're not. That's not what it's about. We don't come out here for that sake.
And
right?
we're not the type, because of course tithes and alms, that's a part of being a prophet as well.
Yep.
But we're not putting cash apps in the bio.
Yep.
PayPal. At the end of the video, support us in the cat.
Or you want the deep breakdowns of Revelation. You can have everything else, but the deep breakdowns of Revelation that's going to cost you $100 a session. Like, there ain't none of that. We don't do that. Not here at Great Millstone. We don't do that. These other guys, they kind of like, they do that. They charge certain things. That's part of the scriptures. And they do that. But we don't do that.
Not to mention, it's not. Our most of our people is messed up out here, man.
Yep.
Most people can't afford, charging or spending $100 for a breakdown, man.
yeah.
Our people is out here, trying to put food in the fridge,
Yep. So there you go.
Yeah, not to mention, you got the Jehovah Wickeds. It's a bunch of women over there, man.
Yep. And the thing is, like, people like look at us like, why we do, like, because we have to break the strongholds, right? That's what the scriptures talk about. The scriptures talk about breaking strongholds. Strongholds on our people are these other religions. We come out like, and that's the thing. We come out the King James Bible, which a lot of these religions come out of. So we're debating you with your own book. We're teaching you the scriptures the way they're supposed to be taught. And it talks about if they bring anybody that don't bring this word, receive him not into your house. So if you're really coming with the book, the Quran, the Book of the Dead, like, we ain't really trying to debate you on your own book. Although we have, we've gone into the Islamic books and showed you how that's all madness, is all BS. It's not, there's no truth in it like there is truth in the Holy Scriptures. But that's why we're using them as an example, because that's a stronghold on the people. They're literally trying to, bring in our people and to corrupt their mind.
Right, and not to mention, how the hell you gonna gather the elect like that? You got women,
Yep.
you got women with suit and ties, which that's already off.
Yep.
And not to mention, you got women with suit and ties, and not to mention they're not even saying anything. They're just standing, waiting for somebody to come up to them. You're supposed to lift your voice like a trumpet. You're supposed to talk to the people. The people are supposed to hear you, man.
Yep.
Someone's supposed to walk and not even talk to you and already know what you about, man. We got the sign. All right, we out here. People stopping by, watching.
Yeah. You think Yahweh Shai just stayed at one spot, just standing there with his arms crossed?
Yeah, with his arms
Wait. No, he first off, when he was speaking, he drew in a crowd, and a lot of times when he drew in a crowd, he drew in a crowd that wanted to stone him or kill him. So there's times when he had to like dip up out of there. So what do you think he was saying that was so controversial that they literally were trying to kill that man? He was saying things that like was against what the popular opinion was. He had to a lot of times escape out of there. And then he was doing like a lot of miracles and a lot of wonderful work, like healing and stuff.
God.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So I got that in the
you
RSV.
can read. Yeah, you can read that real quick in RSV.
1 Corinthians 9:18. What then is my reward? Just this, that in my preaching I may make the gospel free of charge.
There you go.
Not making full use of my right in the gospel.
Yep, free of charge. And we looked at the word charge. It's a cost of something, so it's free. So it's like it's not like a pinnacle point. That's like saying like, I don't know what it's like saying, but it's like we're not gonna make that a standard. Like come see us, because we ain't gonna kill you if you don't listen to the word. Like, that's not something we're gonna like make a staple. Like, we ain't gonna do that anyways. We're not supposed to do that. We aren't gonna send curses on you though. If it comes to it, we'll definitely send curses on you. Let the Lord deal with you, like the scriptures say. But there's just like it's just no point to it. And the whole thing over there is just madness. It's all out of order according to the scriptures. So.
Yep. You want me to read 19?
No, that's it on that. You could
right.
unless it's prevalent. I mean, you could pretty much made a point, right?
Yeah, that's the point.
It's the same thing. You got a precept?
Con. So, yeah, real quick, I have Ezekiel chapter 37 and 9. It says, Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Yeah,
Yep.
The reason why I'm bringing out the scriptures is because even if people aren't, stopping by, even if people aren't basically, coming up to the camp, you're supposed to still prophesy.
Yep.
Noah is a great example. Obviously people were mocking, scoffing at him. Nobody was truly inquiring of Noah. What he was prophesying.
Yep.
But what the point is that what he prophesied still came to pass, and the same thing is happening with us.
Exactly. Yep. And that doesn't deter us that we come out weak and sometimes just nobody listens to us or like that. We just know that and then we got YouTube. We know that people are going to listen to it there. So like at the end of the day, this word is going to go out, and that's what it's all about. It's all about the word going out, and that as we speak, it's a spirit that speaketh. So when that spirit speaketh, it's going to hit the right person. It's going to breathe in that, like the dry bones, like it talks about. It's going to breathe in that breath. It's a breath of life, So it's a beautiful thing. So as we do speak, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, remember he's the one that give us the mouthpiece, give us the spirit to speak. When we do speak, it's to bring in, it's to put those words out there to enter into a body that might not be, that basically dead, and then that spirit enter in them. However it may be when they listen to it on the video, they might be walking by and the spirit enter in them, and then they come by week after week, right? Mm-hmm. So it's however it may be, but it's not a. We know that what the scriptures talk about, like we have to go on the highways and byways, right? In the chief place of concourse, the scriptures talk about is that Proverbs 1. We can get that, but we're doing what the scriptures are commanding us to do, and we know that despite all what the Lord said is going to happen, and this is what the Lord said was going to happen. We're going to preach unto the people, all right? And they're going to, there's going to be an elect among them that's going to receive this word. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the elect.
Yeah, that's a good cut too. Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets.
Right, there you go.
There you go.
How is wisdom, how is wisdom uttered if we don't say nothing, Yeah, wisdom's got to come out. It's got to come out through the Lord's chosen people, right? The mouthpiece. That's why when the Lord spoke to Jeremiah, he said, listen, go out to these people. Jeremiah said, well, how am I going to speak to these people? He said, like, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you a word, words that, your enemies can't gainsay or resist.
Yep.
And, it wasn't like, oh yeah, just go out there with, and just stand up and don't say no damn thing. I mean, at least there's somewhat, in order, because it says they shouldn't be talking any damn way.
God. Yeah.
So at least they. But I mean, where the hell was I? I was somewhere, and there was a woman with the damn megaphone preaching the words. Like, well, you ain't like. Well, quote unquote, I will say, she thought she was preaching the word, but like that's out of order. Why is a woman on a megaphone talking about the Lord and this and that? But that goes to show you that they don't have the truth. That's just another vain philosophy, because there's no real truth to that, So the King James Bible, all right, and which is what the Lord had used to be, his record of everything, right, between prophecies and history and all that. This is what the Lord had basically made for us to use. It goes completely against all these other religions and philosophies and stuff like that. This is what we use this is our battle axe and weapon of war, as well as the spirit,
Yep.
It says what was that? I think it's Psalm 68:11, where it says the Lord gave the word, great was the company of them that published it. All right.
Yep. Yeah. I got that.
Go ahead, read that real quick.
So this Psalm chapter 68:11, it says, "The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it."
There you go. And then if you could really quick, just couple with Isaiah 8:20 real quick.
Gone. So this Isaiah 8:20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
There you go. If they don't speak according to this word, all right, where's the words at? The words are in this book. We know that this book it deems to be true because of all the prophecies that are in this book and everything that lines up with today's present time. Like it just goes to show you that these are living words. Like there's none shall want her mate. You got a precept?
It's still a little bit more.
Are you read with that while he find none shall want her
Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets.
Yep.
She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates.
In the openings of the gates. So that's why when you see other brothers around the globe, right? Because this isn't something that just happened. We're just 3 brothers in Delaware just randomly yelling at the wind. This is a global thing. This happens across multiple states, multiple countries. Okay, where there's people out, there's brothers out there teaching the word of the Lord in its proper origin, its proper respectable way, and they're doing it in the openings of the streets. They're not in no church waiting for people. Like the scriptures talk about how the Lord dwell not in temples made with man's hands. It's not where the Lord's dwelling. The Lord's dwelling where his word is being exercised correctly. And that's right here, out in the streets, where we employ anybody to come in here and debate and basically gonna openly receive any open rebuke, because that's what we're gonna come here to do. We're gonna rebuke, exhort, give me that scripture, rebuke and exhort with all long suffering. That's our job. That's why we come out in the highways and byways to do it. Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, says that he was gonna send Ezekiel onto a nation that has a hard face, hard as flint, that doesn't want to receive the word. And that's where we do that out here in the highways and byways.
Thank you, sir. I can see y'all every now and then.
There you go.
So I thank you for your word, man.
Con.
I'm on my way to a service now, but sometimes I like to ask y'all a few questions.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Anytime, man.
But thanks for
Yep.
your
That's confirmation right there.
Yep,
Shalom. Yep.
Shalom, man.
Hey, it's confirmation that we're out here. We're really here to bring in the elect in the nation of Israel. So we know that our people went falling away. As a shepherd, right? You had 100 sheep, and we can get that precept.
Yep.
There was 100 sheep. Of the 100 sheep, 1 went off. So out of 99 sheep, you need to get that one lost sheep, and that one lost sheep commingle himself somewhere where he don't belong. So as a good shepherd, he comes to redeem his sheep.
Yeah.
So,
And notice, he said that to us, and not to them
Yeah.
10 feet down.
Yeah, he also got to see them every week, because I've seen them a lot of times. They hear just as regularly as we are, right?
Yep.
Well, not as regularly, but they hear. Not as regularly, but
Nah, the spirit kind
every so
of
often.
went off from them.
yeah.
It's been several weeks now.
Yeah,
since,
they
we
haven't
saw
been
them.
out. Yeah. Yeah, but there you have it. That's confirmation in the spirit. And and that's why the scriptures talk about also whether they hear, whether they forbear, whether they take it in and receive it, right? Whether they forbear it or not, we're still out here, right? So he's here. He said he listened to it. So if he hear it and he forbear it, that's for him. But if he doesn't do that, that's also on him. Because the thing is, we were here to speak the word so he can receive it. So he said he's on to a sermon right now, but he obviously going to get that wrong cup. You're getting the cup of Satan. You want to get the Lord's cup of righteousness. You want to drink of the godly cup.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's something that pulls Jake, towards the truth. Whether they scoff at it, whether they not sure, whether they, coming in and coming out, it's within Jake's spirit that this is right.
Yep.
That's why it's either Jake, whenever Jake hear it, they scoff and scorn, because in their spirit, they know that they're moving in the wrong way.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and unfortunately, man, Jake has that what's that called? When you basically love your oppressor, what the hell is that called?
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. Unfortunately, a lot of our people, the majority of the people, have Stockholm syndrome. So they have gotten, when you bring them this word and you say that the Lord has a chosen people, he's only dealing with the nation of Israel, and you're part of that nation, and he's not dealt so with any other nation, like the scriptures talk about, they get offended, and they want to bring Esau along, they want to bring the Arabs along, they want to bring all these other nations along, but they don't belong, man. You're the chosen people, but they have a hard time of being the rulers, man. You gotta understand, Jake, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians are destined to be rulers of the world. Mm-hmm. But they don't want. They're too busy, in oppression, that they want just equality. Like listen, all I want is that everyone live harmoniously and together and holding hands. But that's not what. Listen, they try to do that in the Babylonian times, where they try to bring everybody together and build a giant tower. The Lord ain't with that. The Lord ain't with everybody. He ain't equal for equality, all right, and diversity and inclusion.
Yep. People get offended when we say that, the Lord is racist, so to speak, because he prefers one nation over the rest of the nations, man.
Yep.
All right, and it's in the Bible, man.
That's it. The
All right?
scriptures.
When you get that word, when you go into that word adoption, it goes into the relationship that Yahweh Shah had in preference to all the other nations, man.
Yep.
So that just goes to show you that the Lord ain't dealing. And how come, the Lord only made a covenant with Israel?
Yep.
And these people think that for some reason they can be included into that covenant, man. That has nothing to do with the other nations.
Yep. Did more to that precept?
That was it.
You got a precept?
Yeah, you said rebuke and exhort.
And then whatever we quoted loosely or whatever, we can get that too.
And also we had previously, none of these shall fail.
Yep.
So I'll just read that one. It says, Isaiah chapter 34 and 16, seek ye out of the book of the Lord Yahweh.
Yep. So like that kind of brings us back to like what I was saying there with the scriptures and the King James Version Bible. Like we know, and then we use the other translations as a way to kind of like break things down a little bit easier to be understood, because these words, they have origins to them, right? So a lot of times when you hear the word now, you do have to kind of go into the word, got to go into the Hebrew, got to go into the Greek, and sometimes these other translations kind of water it down a little bit, But the King James Version is the closest thing to the origins of the words, the Hebrew and the Greek. So that's why we kind of come out of this version more. You got to watch, because certain versions try to take out the scriptures. There's literally a Bible that takes out the scripture going against homosexuality. There was a whole thing on that, like they're called the Pink Bible or whatever. So, we do use it as a guide, but we don't use it, as its entirety. But the point is, like, we know that these are the closest to the scrolls and the words of the Lord, that was published. With that being said, we know that there are words of the Lord that was published, and that we gotta adhere to them. And that's where we come out of this book, and we have faith and belief that this book is the words of the Lord. Yeah, go ahead.
So it says, Isaiah chapter 34 and 16, seek ye out of the book of the Lord Yahweh, and read.
Yep.
No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate.
Yep.
For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
Yep. And that's where our faith lies. Our faith lies in the fact that there's nothing that can put a candle next to the scriptures, next to the holy word. And we know that when we read these words and we understand them, and we we get the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of the scriptures, we know that there's like a real real life behind this. This is literally life in these words, man. They're literally living words. As we read these scriptures, there's things that are enacting out as we speak that we know that we're seeing firsthand, from prophecy, from things to come, from things that are happening right now. They're spoken about from years ago. I mean, we're talking about thousands of years ago. That was things that were jotted down and written and published for us today. And it's beautiful to read that and see that we're acting out all this, the end times and all that. Okay, we're about to receive that salvation. Lord willing, we of the elect. We're about to see like a crazy, series of events. Thus saith the scriptures, and we have faith because we've seen that there's all kinds of history and all that proving the validity of the scriptures, right? So we only know that the prophecies that are coming to pass or about to come to pass, we can see them to be true, and we have our faith in that. Our faith lies in that. But not everybody gonna get it. Not everybody gonna receive that. The word. Only the elect. Go ahead.
So it says, Isaiah chapter 34 and 17, and he hath, it says, Isaiah chapter 34 and 17, and he hath cast the lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever, from generation to generation shall they dwell therein.
There you go. And that's what we're doing. Like, we're possessing this word from generation to generation. All right, and there was a falling away. There's a falling away, but that's why it talks about stirring up your pure mind by way of remembrance, and we do it through the scriptures, because that scriptures is the closest thing we have, to memory. And so everything all the history and all that is jotted down here. So when we speak these scriptures and we speak these words, we speak the curses that were supposed to happen in Israel. We speak the blessings that were supposed to happen in Israel, and all the history that goes with it. it stirs up the minds of Israel, okay? And that's what's going to bring back the elect.
Con, yeah, that was it.
That's it? You got a precept?
I still had 2 Timothy.
Oh, yeah, come with that.
Con. So it says 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 2, preach the word, be instant in season and out of season.
Yep, preach the word, be instant. And we're following the same model that the New Testament and Old Testament, because remember, when Paul spoke, did not Paul quote scriptures of this quote-unquote Old Testament? Paul said, like it was said in this day, or like when the scriptures talk about like a dog returns to his own vomit. That was a quote from the quote-unquote Old Testament. So, and if you can get me precept upon precept, line upon line, like the way the scriptures are supposed to be taught. So we're following the same model that the prophets of old taught and the prophets of new taught, right? They come out of the book. They come out of the scrolls at the time, you know? But go ahead, you keep reading. You got something?
Oh, I had the one you just called.
Oh, yeah. All right, so then just reread what you had, and then he'll come with the...
Con. So it says 2 Timothy, or like it says 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 2, preach the word, be instant in season, and, or like it says, be instant in season,
yeah, which
out of season.
instant means to be ready. So we're ready in season and out of season. And out of season means like, you know, when like things are kind of like died down or like that. Things, you know, you're not, you know, like it's a little bit more on the quiet side. You still got to be ready, you know. When you're harvesting on in season, there's work to be done. Off the off season, you know, there's really not as much, you know, going on, but you still got to be ready, you know. You don't just, you know, like just chill out or like that. So like in like manner with the truth, you have to be ready at all times, even when it seems like, you know, everything's calm. Like there's really, you know, the prophecies are kind of like laying low. We're still ready. We're still ready for anything to pop up, and we do that by teaching the word, listening to the word, and exercising the word.
Con. So real quick, I got it. Well, I can finish it real quick. Then I'm gonna get into NLT.
Go ahead.
It says, so 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 2 within the KJV, it says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
Yeah, the reason why they ain't talking over there because, you know, they don't want to give that course out for free. You know, they gotta they gotta first, you know, if they start talking, then, you know, that's money lost. You know, so they gotta make sure that they reel you in with that free course. And then hit you with the, well, first you gotta give us your credit card, then we give you, you know how like companies like to, they offer this free thing, but this free trial.
Cancel at any time.
Cancel at any time. Then when you forget to cancel, it's sorry, there's nothing we can do. You still, you paid the monthly premium. But yeah, no, I was talking smack. But go ahead, slug it. Preach the word, yeah.
Con, so this in the NLT it says, preach the word of the Most High. Be prepared whether the time is favorable or not.
There you go. Yep, that's a good way to put it. Yep. Go ahead.
It says patiently correct, rebuke, and encourage your people with good teaching.
Yeah, there you go. Read that again. That's beautiful.
Con. So it says in the NLT for 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 2.
The second chapter. I think it's the second chapter. 2 or 3, whatever one it is. Go ahead.
It says, Con. So it says, preach the word. It's like it says, So it says in NLT, preach the word of the Most High, be prepared, whether the time is favorable or not. Patiently correct, rebuke, and encourage your people with good teaching.
Yeah, patiently correct, rebuke, and what?
And encourage your people with good teaching.
And encourage your people with good teaching. The problem with our people is they don't like to be corrected. And they want to teach us how they should be corrected. Or they want to tell us how they should be taught. Like, we ain't out here to be realistically your friend, especially when we're trying to correct your behaviors. Jake's behaviors are off, okay? And I hate to, I'm gonna break it to you. Your behaviors, how can I say? Your behaviors elicit death, okay? A lot of Jake's behaviors should be eliciting death because you're going against the Lord's commandments. The Lord's commandments, all the nation of Israel agreed and said amen, okay? When Moses got the words and then wrote it down and gave it to the people and said, listen, this is what we're gonna follow. These are commandments that we have been given. And everyone said amen. You gotta understand, a lot of Jake's behavior elicit a death response. You should be put to death. So the way we're coming at you and rebuking you is way less than what it should be, right? So you can get me 2 Chronicles 15:13 to just validate that point real quick. Now, are we gonna out here and just, we're out here to, you know, to hurt nobody or murder nobody, right? It's not about that, because there is a grace period, all right? There is a grace period to bring in and we're not gonna do nothing of ourselves. We're gonna wait upon the Lord to give that judgment, and He's gonna give that judgment using His people. But we're gonna wait upon the Lord. We ain't gonna act out any judgments on our own accord. But real quick, if you can get me that, and then we can go into the precepts.
So like you said, 2 Chronicles
15:13.
Gone. So this 2 Chronicles chapter 15 and 13, it says that whosoever who will not seek the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, shall be put to death.
Yep, read that again with authority.
Gone. So it says 2 Chronicles chapter 15 and 13, that whosoever will not seek the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, shall be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman.
Right, so you hear that? It said, whoever shall not seek the Lord Yahweh of Israel shall be put to death. I mean, that's pretty brutal, don't you think? It also talks about how we persuade men by the terror of the Lord. This is out the Bible, the scriptures, that a lot of so-called religions supposedly supposed to come out of. So you gotta understand that the Lord that we serve is a very vicious power. Now, is He also a long-suffering power? Absolutely. That's why we're not out here and acting anything. But you understand that the things that Jake is guilty of is a lot of oftentimes you should be put to death. But we all fell away. Now, I'm not saying that I was any righteous before coming into the truth than the next person, right? Well, all of righteousness is filthy rags. The only thing we can do is do right now and basically do what we can as far as charitable acts and stuff like that to hide our transgressions, to hide our sins. Because we're not going to be as perfect as the Lord was perfect, but we do obtain or try to obtain perfection through the Yahweh Shema Shai, through His grace and through His mercies. So we're out here to teach and exhort, like back to the brother's point. We're here to rebuke and exhort our people, which they don't like to hear. They don't like to hear that they're doing wrong. They don't like to just shut up and say, you know what? How can I make myself right? And it's like, and we're not even saying to do it to make it right for us. We're trying to get your relationship right with the Lord, and you do that by following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, and by listening to the men that the Lord has set up. But you ain't doing it. You don't do it like the scriptures talk about. Don't do it as man pleases. You don't gotta be here pleasing us. You gotta be pleasing the Most High.
Yep.
Yes,
Yes,
go ahead. Nah.
Yeah, what's
I was just about to read again. but-
Bollywood, freaking some
Yeah.
Indian movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead, it's like it. You don't
You want me to read again, or?
No,
'cause, that was it.
we can read again for the point, and then you have something backing it up. Yeah.
Gone. So this 2 Chronicles chapter 15 and 13, that whosoever will not seek the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, shall be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman.
Yep, there you go. There you have it. That's pretty severe if you ask me. And that's the fear that we had. That's why when we come out here week in, week out, that's why we are diligent. That's why we do rehearse the righteous acts, because of the fear of the Lord. It's because of the reverence that we have for the Lord. We know that there is judgment that's going to come to these people that don't seek after the Lord, and that don't try to obtain His righteousness. Go ahead.
Yep. This is the book of Ezekiel 3:1. It says, moreover, He said unto me, son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel.
Yep. And what's that roll talking about? It's talking about the scriptures, talking about the Bible. Go ahead. He told Ezekiel to eat it up. Eat this word up. Go ahead.
Verse 2, so I opened my mouth, and He caused me to eat that roll. And He said unto me, son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee.
Yep.
Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness.
Yep. And that's how these scriptures initially are. A lot of times when you first hear it, like it's a beautiful thing. Like you hear like all the great things that come with the scriptures and the prophecies, and it's just it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, damn, like I know when I first heard this word anyways, it was beautiful to hear. But as you attain this word and you start to feel when it talks about the gold is tried in the furnace, you start to feel that gold, or that you start to feel that furnace, that affliction of adversity. It starts to be in your belly as bitterness. But go ahead.
Ezekiel 3:4, and He said unto me, son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them, for thou art not.
And Aslaki, but the other thing too is like, before you came into this truth, nothing really bothered you like it bothers you now that you know the truth.
Okay.
Like imagine like all these people that really don't mind about the modes and the alphabet people. I don't care as long as it's not done near me. But like us, that shit bothers us, man. We're constantly oppressed by all this stuff because we know the truth. We know the word. It's so as we know the word, as we eat the whole roll, everything just becomes bitter to us, man. Like all this stuff is bitter,
You could be at the job,
Yeah,
Jake just talk about utter wickedness,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
The
yep.
adultery, you
Yep.
know, the football game and all this
Yeah.
other bullshit,
Yeah.
man.
And then it just leaves a bad taste. Like, oh, it's just fucking disgusting. Like, just disgusting.
yep.
And what's causing that disgust? The fact that we know what the truth is, what the way you're really supposed to conduct yourself, and the Jake ain't doing it. You know, so it makes you bitter.
Yep.
But a lot of Jake Jake doesn't have that. They don't have no thing that makes them upset. Like the scriptures do. They don't really concern themselves like they should. Go ahead.
Yep. Ezekiel 3:5. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language,
Yep.
but to the house of Israel.
Exactly. So Ezekiel was sent to the house of Israel, just like we're sent to the house of Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 6, not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language,
Yep.
whose words thou canst not understand.
Yep.
Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
Yeah. So he's saying it would have been better if you went to like a strange land where you didn't understand their language, which would be hard to communicate. He's saying they would be more likely to accept you than the nation of Israel, who you do understand their language, who this word is for them, right? It all makes sense. It should all make sense to them because it was
Right.
given to them, and they're going to be the ones that's not going to adhere to the word. Why? Because Jake is just wicked, man. They don't want to adhere to righteousness. They want to live in their guilty pleasures. But go ahead.
Verse 7, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee,
Yep.
but they will not hearken unto me.
Yep.
For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
There you go. Israel is impudent and hard-hearted, stiff-necked, right? So when we come out here, man, we know that we're going to be dealing with a lot of Jake that just don't want to listen. They don't want to receive the rebuke. They don't want to receive the exhortation. For whatever reason. Jake will always find a reason why they can't receive the rebuke. Me because I ain't you white, or another brother because he's young, or another or because of the garments we're wearing, or the speech that we're saying. Jake always want to say something on why they can't receive the rebuke.
Yep. Oh man, I understand this. I like the message, man, but you gotta tone down with the profanity.
Yeah,
Like,
yep.
Jake don't even know what that profanity really means.
Yep.
They think it's what Esau deemed as bad words,
Yeah, yep,
or
yep.
whatever the case may be. But it's just rude speech, and the prophets, were speaking boldly
Yep.
with that rude speech,
Yep.
exalting it, man.
Yeah, my answer to that is, you go back to, and then people say, oh, well, that was the Old Testament, things were different. It's like, what are you talking about? Things were different. Like, what do you mean?
So Yahweh came and everything was soft spoken. No, Yahweh was a man of authority.
Exactly,
And
they say
he,
that.
he was rebuking
Yep.
left and right.
Yeah, and then you got to ask yourself, why if the Lord was coming to bring the word, why were they getting so upset about it?
Yep.
If it was such a good thing to hear. To a lot of people, it wasn't something they wanted to hear. Damn. Jamie just, yeah.
Black woman. Oh.
Yeah. Then you gotta say, you don't see his block. It's not blocked. She can easily fit through it. No, it's not blocked, miss. You can block that better. You're gonna curse the dude out because it could easily be blocked better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, which when you get the definition for profanity, within the Hebrew and within the etymology, it'll basically say how it's pretty much language that's against the Lord.
Yep.
So it's not just saying a bad word, while you're preaching. Ultimately, what profanity is saying things that are against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and against the Lord, and against His book.
So yeah, you really the ones with the profanity in your mouth.
Exactly.
Man.
Yep.
There you go.
And the thing is, like I said, my answer to that is when Ezekiel got taken up, or no, I'm sorry, not Ezekiel. When Elijah got taken up, and Elisha was there to see it. When Elisha received that double portion of the Lord's Spirit, when he was going through, I believe it was a place called Carmel, there was kids that were taunting him. All right, and this is, I believe, in the 2 Kings. There was kids taunting him, and he called a curse upon the kids, and it tore up 40-some children. And you cannot tell me that me telling you to go fuck yourself is worse than children literally getting tore up by a man in the spirit that caused it, that cursed them out. That's a real curse. That's way worse than me saying, God damn you, which that's the other thing. People are like, oh, you're using the Lord's name in vain. Like, no, to say God damn is to say the Lord condemn. The Lord condemn you.
Yep.
So when when Elisha said that he was condemning them children. He was damning them children. Using. He said, he prayed. He said he prayed upon the Lord, and 2 she-bears came up and tore 42 children. So that's way, way, way worse than any type of quote unquote curse word I could use. Now society teaches that if you use certain vernacular and you speak a certain way, that you're deemed to be more intelligent and stuff like that. So that's just societal norms. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's right. That's correct. We can speak in a certain way. We can try to use certain words. I mean, we try to stay away from certain words so we don't get kicked off the platform.
Right.
Because this platform is run by the ish people and all that, and there's a certain uniform that they're trying to stay upon. So you got to watch what things you say. But we're not gonna not say certain things of the scriptures. We're gonna keep to the scriptures. Despite all. But yeah.
Con. And I actually have the etymology for profanity.
Yep.
Con. So it says from 1600, profaneness, quality of being profane language or conduct. It says from late Latin, profanitas, which means, it goes back to the Latin profanus. It says extended sense of foul language is from Old Testament commandment against profaning the name of the Lord.
Yep. And that's the thing, is like it's profaning, and that's why they try to say, like, if you say like God damn or damn, like, or anything with God, it's like they would say if you say the Lord's name at all, it's like automatically profane. No, you're not profaning the name. Now if you actually do profanity towards the name, then yeah, if you're actually saying something to the Lord to try to profane his holy name, then yeah, absolutely. You're first off, that's a really serious offense.
Yep.
But that's not, when we send up curses upon somebody and we use the Lord's name. That's not profanity. That's not anything against the Lord's name or the Lord Himself or the Most High Himself.
Gone. And also I have the etymology for profane. It means it says from mid 15th century. Profane, which means unecclesiastical, secular, not devoted to sacred purposes, unhallowed.
Yep, and that's what it's about, like unhallowed or unsacred. So like basically the profanity is something that's just off against the holiness of the scriptures, right? And just words themselves, certain words, like if I say dog or I say bitch, them words, that one word isn't more profane than the other. It's more so if I say something out of law or out of scriptures, or out of term with the heavenly scriptures. If I say something that's contradicting the scriptures, that's profane.
Yep. There you go.
If I say it's okay to eat pork, that's profane. That's real profanity.
Yeah. The Lord. I mean, when you go into the scriptures, they never said like, oh, if you say this one word, that's a sin. Like that's not really. It depends on how you use your sentence.
Yep.
So
if you can get me it says in Ecclesiasticus about a shameless woman should be counted as a dog.
Yep.
And we can kind of get back on topic then, and then after this.
Yeah, because it's a little bit more too. Yeah, Sirach 26 to 25. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
There you go. So you're trying to tell me that I can use the word dog. I can say a woman is a dog. And that's not profanity. But if I say a woman's a bitch, it is. Yeah, I was just looking that in.
You looked that up?
No, I just seen on the thing it says ET.
Yes, it's news channel in India.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Is that like a news channel?
Yeah, but I wonder what they're doing now. Keep that on deck, because I'm curious. I'm not sure if maybe they're talking about whatever's going on here. Maybe they're,
Yeah, because you got some black cars lined up. Like.
Yeah. I think all these are part of it. So.
Yeah, like politicians.
I don't know. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. See what that's about.
Yeah.
Gone.
But could have set up anywhere else, but set up right where we are. So hopefully they get us on camera cursing them out. Damn Elamites too. Yes. But yeah. So the word bitch and dog, because when you look up the word dog, or when you look up the word bitch, if you can look up the definition for the word bitch, it literally means a female dog. Okay.
That's it.
So I mean, we're not gonna like really debate too much about what words like that. Like we understand that the scriptures use harsh words, and even more than harsh words, there's harsh judgments, and that's really what you got to concern yourself with. Concern yourself with the harsh judgment that the Lord is coming to bring.
So it says in the etymology for bitch, female dog,
There you
female of the dog.
So you're telling me, okay, a dog is acceptable, but bitch isn't? But the scriptures literally call a shameless woman a dog, which let's call it what it is. A shameless woman is a bitch. And what's a shameless woman? 99.9% of these women out here are shameless women. They have no shame whatsoever. They literally don't have. They don't take no accountability for any action that they do. They have no shame for anything they do. They have no responsibility to anything that they do. You know, they can live in all wickedness and they have no shame.
Yep.
Look up the word shame for me.
They call themselves bitches,
Yep.
man. You know?
And the thing is, like, that when they don't have no shame, that's when they try to escape shame. Because, like, if you try to ask a woman, okay, well, how many dudes you been with? They try to, oh, that doesn't matter. That don't matter. Why? Because they don't want no shame brought to them.
Yeah,
And if guys have a problem with that, they're fucking losers. They're losers.
Lie.
Yeah.
They'll lie
Or they'll
about
lie.
it.
Yeah. So why are you lying? Because you don't want shame to befall you.
Right.
You don't want anybody looking at you in like disgust, because that brings shame on you. So, but the woman, a lot of times they'll either lie about it so they don't receive shame, or they just don't have shame. They're just shameless. They just don't care.
So it says shame within the etymology. It says painful feeling of guilt or disgrace.
Painful feeling of guilt and disgrace. And they don't have that. They can literally shake their ass, okay, and whatever, do whatever, and they just don't have no shame. They'll doctor it up, talk about,
Yep.
I'm a what is that called? Damn, what is a cheap word that they use instead of just saying that they're an internet whore? A content creator. They'll say I'm a content creator instead of just saying you're an internet whore. That's what you are. You sell your body sexually online. You're an internet whore. You're not a content creator. Stop it. But they say those things like content creator because they don't want to bring the shame upon themselves of what they really are. But go ahead.
So it says confusion caused by shame, state of being in disgrace, dishonor, insult.
Yeah, and the women don't have no honor. They don't know what real honor is. They look at what society says is honorable. What but Beyonce teaches them what's honorable. What Nicki Minaj says is honorable. They think that's real honor. So they don't really know they don't really know that they're literally just a dishonor and a disgrace. Okay, one to Israel's the community of Israel and the scriptures and the commandments of Israel and the commandments of the Lord. They were a disgrace to the Lord.
That guy on the video taking pictures.
Oh yeah. Look at Elon trying to figure out what's going on. But yeah, they don't understand what real honor is, man. They don't have it. The women today, man, are just dishonorable.
Yep.
You got something to say?
He still got it.
No, you got him. He just taking piss. Just get him on the camera,
Oh yeah.
Because he trying to be slick with it.
Yeah. He probably gonna use that for the freaking.
Hit him with that 5-time zoom.
The heading.
Yeah. The thumbnail.
Yeah.
With the man like this and the picture right here, with the microphone and the picture of us here.
Yep.
Anyways, Sherlock Brown. But go ahead. I got that's it on that.
It also says loss of esteem or reputation, shameful circumstance, what brings disgrace, modesty.
Yep. And when you think, and what do you think of when you think of a shameless woman? You think of the so-called black woman, man. When you think of a woman shameless, a bitch, hoe, all right? Especially our women in Babylon the Great, they the head of that, So.
It also says, in Middle English, nakedness, private parts, the genitals.
There you go. That would stand.
Yeah, and women, what do they love to do? Show off their bodies, uncovered.
Exactly, and that's the crazy part about it. Like, that is supposed to bring shame. And just the women don't get no shame. Ass cheeks hanging out with their booty shorts, mad cleavage showing. They don't wear no bras, so their nipples are showing and all that stuff. Like, very, very sheer clothing. That is supposed to bring shame. If I came out butt ass naked, I would just be it's a shameful thing to just have no clothes to cover yourself. All right, you're supposed to be covered, but the women have no shame. They don't care. They'll come out the house dressed however the fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Or they'll have their bodies on public display for $5. They give $5 and you can view all their BS. And some of them, a lot of the women, do that shit for free.
Yep.
Like, damn.
God.
All over on public display.
Yep. And then you
With
know
no
these,
shame.
these women have the nerve to get mad when a lot of men look at them with lust and things
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you know you pretty much presenting what you are, man.
Yep.
You know, you just go you a harlot, you know.
Yep. And that just show you, man, like the state of the world we're in right now, that women that find no shame in something that's supposed to be shameful.
Yep. We can get back to Ezekiel though. If you still want it.
Yeah, you could
the
just
main
finish it up.
point.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 3:8, it says, "Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces,
Yep.
and thy forehead strong against their foreheads."
Yep. And that's talking about Israel, man. When we come out here, we're strong against Israel's foreheads, and because like the brother read, basically like we're out here to exhort, and we do it patiently. We come out here, and that's why when Paul said, that he basically is servant to the men, like we come out here for that. Like literally, we come out here knowing that we're gonna be at opposition with Jake. And when we come out here, chilling. That much production. Was that? No. It's he looked it up. I told him to keep it on deck because maybe a couple hours like that might post something. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I don't know if they're casting because there's all the shit that's shut down, but it's newscasters. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. We're talking about the newscasters behind it. Yeah, I don't know. I just know there's a whole bunch of roads shut down.
Yeah, I guess it's some news channel in India.
He's talking about these guys
ET now.
behind us. So we don't know if they're what they're about to publish, if it's something to do with this here. But there's an Indian newscast behind it.
Yo, you got the demon.
Well, no, I'm saying it might be synonymous. You know what I mean? Newscast with all this going on, but I don't know. I just know that there's all these roads are closed down.
You got water?
Oh, nah, I don't have it yet.
But Slaki, what was I saying? You got something?
Nah, he had a
Come back with that Slaki. Oh yeah, the point is like we know that like Paul said that he's like a servant to men. When we come out here, like we know that we're gonna be faced with a lot of opposition. It was even told to Ezekiel, like, listen, you're gonna go against Jake, and they're gonna be hard-headed, and they're gonna try to fight you. And we've been in that point. And because like we're very passionate on our stance, because we believe the spirit of the word, and that this word just elicits that response from Jake. They don't want to be told anything. Yep. They don't want to be told that they're going on.
Because they believe they have the truth.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
The church.
Yep.
Like you got the whole witness over there behind us.
Yeah, oh yeah, we already talked about it. I don't know if you've seen a little sign that says free charge or something like that, like their first course free or something, whatever. Yeah. So like they're
gimmick.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. It must be a gimmick. Like why is that? Why should that even be a staple? Like we opened up with that. Like why are you trying to say the course is free? Like everything should be free. The word should be free.
Yep.
Well, I mean, to learn the word should be free.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Not books and like extra stuff.
Right.
You can get on your own.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for that. But yeah, well, I guess maybe it has something to do with the I see a lot of Elamites, which are really Persians. Yeah, you got the Jehovah's Witnesses. They're basically like Christians that think they're better than the rest of the Christians.
Yeah. They have one part of knowledge that just puts them above all. And I think that's like the beginning of how man was created, like because Jehovah's Witness, that's all on that like whole how man was created. I think I forget what they say, but Adam and something like I think they were like they go with the whole Adamites or like that or I don't know. I don't know too much.
I'm not sure about their beginning.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But they feel like they're above the Christians and the majority of it because they think they have this like one thought or belief that's more spiritual.
Well, they use the name Jehovah. Which is,
and that's another thing. Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's close, but it's not. It's not the correct pronunciation because it's no J, no V. So once you understand that, they don't have the truth. I mean, they don't. They're very passive. They don't really have a spirit. They don't have the Holy Spirit. They're kind of docile.
Yeah.
So like, why would you believe if you have the same spirit as normal people that call themselves Christians? It's different. They have a different spirit than the rest of the Christians. All right. And they don't have the truth. Right? Scriptures tell you that there's only one name in heaven.
And like you said, it's dead because like there's just women over there standing there not saying a damn thing.
Then you have women that ain't supposed to be teaching.
God.
No woman is supposed to teach. We'll get that. Get that in Timothy.
Silence.
The name of the Most High is Yahweh, and the Son is Yahweh Shai. There's only one God, and Yahweh Shai is his prophet, not Muhammad. They Hindi. Yahweh Shai is the prophet, not Muhammad. There's only one God, and Yahweh Shai is the mediator, and the Messiah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. 1 Corinthians 14 and 34. It says, "Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak,
That's a coincidence.
but they are
I told you to do it
commanded."
like a couple minutes ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, but they are
Read it
commanded.
again.
Yeah. 1 Corinthians 14 and 34. "Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience."
Look up churches.
Oh, you know what I think's going on right now? Sluggy, kind of off topic, but I just looked up. It says President Joe Biden arrived at Delaware Air National Guard near Newcastle on Friday afternoon ahead of a weekend of meetings with world leaders in the Wilmington area. The president's hosting leaders from India, Japan, and Australia at his Greensville home academy in Claymont, his alma mater. Yep. This is the first time Biden has invited world leaders to the first state since he took president's office in 2020. So that's probably why I got all
and
this
they
going
got
on.
decoys set up too, so you don't want to really know where you're at. So
Yep,
they set up decoys and fake cars go around with him in there. But apparently he's going to be in Claymont, so which it's not near here. You got to go to the north to Claymont. But okay, all right. So church.
So church is within the Greek is ecclesia, which means a gathering of citizens called out from their homes into some public space or public place.
There you go.
An assembly.
Right. So that's an assembly basically of the Israelites.
Yeah.
Our assembly, our gathering, the congregation. You read out in the law, talks about the congregation. Give me a law which says you're going to be cast out of the congregation. You stay where you at.
Okay.
You see how more you got to read on that.
Yep.
Very good.
1 Corinthians 14 and 34. "Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law."
Right. So we know that the law is not done away with. There's still elements of the law that we have to keep. All right. And we do that through faith, through grace. All right. We're ultimately going to be judged by our works and our faith together. All right. Especially if we're teachers. We're going to have works and we're going to have faith, but the foundation is faith. All right, and from faith, then we build up on top of that.
That's right.
All right. Go ahead.
Verse 35. "And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home."
Right, you're supposed to have a husband. Supposed to have a husband. If you're an Israelite woman, you believe in the faith, you're supposed to have a husband. As it is written, she shall be saved in childbearing, and she continue in the faith, wash the feet, the saints, roughly paraphrase what it says there. We can find that. Find it too. Stay where you're at. All right. You have more in church you want to read, or?
Yeah, Khan. So it says the assembly of the Israelites.
Well, see, I ain't read that in a couple years actually. And I told you to go get a law or ancient prophet precept where it says congregation.
Oh, Khan, yeah,
It just said it right there. I didn't know it was in the definition of the New Testament Greek for church. And I read that in a couple years. Go ahead.
Yep. 1 Corinthians 14 and 35.
You said you had a precept?
Khan,
I got something.
just some. Oh, you got something?
Oh yeah, I got something. About casting you down in the congregation. I got something like that.
Yeah, it's cast out of the
Oh yeah,
congregation.
Khan.
I got something similar, not cast out, but I got something similar.
Talks
You got
talks
cast
about
out?
the congregation. That's right. You don't have to be said cast out.
All right, so I'll read this. This is Ecclesiasticus, book of Sirach, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 29. The point is in verse 30. Yeah. Sirach 1 and 29 says, "Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul."
Where are you reading?
It's Sirach 1 and 30.
I want something in the law. But go ahead.
It says, "And so God discover thy secrets and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation."
Which is the Israelites called out to a public place amongst the Israelites.
Yep.
It's not universal statements. All right? It's not a universal statement right there.
Yep. Because thou comest not in truth. So you're getting cast down in the midst of the congregation because you come not in the truth. Because thou comest not in the truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit.
Finish where you at?
Yeah, I'll just finish it. 1 Corinthians 14 and 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church.
Right, you're supposed to have your head covered. But 1 Corinthians 11. All right, which is a symbol that's showing the authority of your husband. That's the way that, it was ordained. This is elementary stuff. The Father, the Son, then the Father, Yahweh, the Son, Yahweh Shai, and the husband, the wife, and the children. Elementary. Continue. Is there more?
That was it.
That was it.
Con, I got something.
What do you got?
Con, so this is Numbers chapter 19 and 20. It says, but the man that should be unclean and shall not purify himself, that soul should be cut off from among the congregation,
There you go.
because he hath defiled the sanctuary of the Lord Yahweh. The water of separation hath not been sprinkled upon him. He is unclean.
Now look up congregation Hebrew.
Con. So in the Hebrew congregation, or the Hebrew word is, it says quahal, which means assembly, company, convocation. Yeah, it says congregation as organized body.
Yep, organized body. There you go. So we're a congregation here. This is our church. All right. But in general, you got a question, you can ask a question. In general, it's not permitted for women to speak in the church. All right. Continue. Precept I asked for. Women should be shaving childbearing. Should already have that.
Yeah, so this is 1 Timothy 2, and we'll start at 11. It says, let the woman learn in silence without subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach.
Subject. Look up subjection. All right. Go ahead. Read it again.
1 Timothy 2 and 11, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man,
Usurp.
but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Right. We were deceived by, or Adam was deceived by his wife. But Adam wasn't deceived by the serpent. Eve was deceived by the serpent.
Yep.
We're still guilty. That Adam had the responsibility, the most responsibility. That's why it says, well, it's from the women began, from women became the beginning of sin, for what we all died. But Adam transgressed.
Yep.
All right. Adam transgressed after following his wife.
Okay.
What he shouldn't have done. Well,
Right.
he was programmed. to do.
And that's why they both received a punishment for it.
Right, and not just Eve.
Yeah.
Eve. They both were cast out of Jerusalem, so to speak. That's what the Garden of Eden was. Now continue.
Verse 15, notwithstanding she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. That was it.
Yeah, read it again.
Yep. 1 Timothy 2 and 15, notwithstanding she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
Right, faith, and for women to have faith is different. For men to have faith is hard. For a woman, that's even harder. So a woman that has faith, they're special. All right, you get John or 2 John.
Yep. If I can say
2
too.
John, get 2 John.
Oh.
Yep.
I had a word too for
Go ahead.
subjection.
Go ahead.
Con, it says hupo take or tage in the Greek. It means that the act of subjecting, obedience, subordination. Also, I have the root word. It says the subject put in subjection, to subject oneself, to submit to one's control.
2 John. All right, subjection. Meaning the man is the sovereign, and the family is the subject. That's what family means. It comes from the Latin familia, which means the household of slaves. So you take the direction of the master of the house. All right, get
2 John.
yeah, the elect lady.
Yep. 2 John 1 and 1. The elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth, for the truth's sake, which dwelleth in us.
So that's the heading of this book, to the elect lady, which is the elect. Either talking about a specific Israelite he was referring to, not by name, but in general, the women that are of the elect.
Yep. 2 John 1 and 1, It says, the elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth, for the truth's sake, which dwelleth in us, and shall be with us forever.
We go down to bit of not Godspeed. Then 10th verse.
Yeah, 10th verse.
Because so the heading was to the elect lady, all right, whom he loves in the truth, and her children. All right, so this is instruction. Go ahead.
2 John 1, and we'll start at 9.
Yeah, let's start.
Whosoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Hamashiach,
Which is the Lord. All right, that's the Hebrew way of saying Christ. Good.
hath not Yahweh,
Which is the correct way. That's the way we're supposed to speak.
hath not Yahweh,
We're supposed to have the pertinent Hebrew words and then English around it, because that's what we learned first. Like the name of the Most High, Son, words, like what you just read, become the color scriptures, names of countries, names of proper names of the Israelites, prophets. We go to the Hebrew, and then we speak English around it.
2 John 1 and 9. Whosoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Hamashiach hath not Yahweh. He that abideth in the doctrine of Hamashiach, he hath both the Father and the Son.
Yeah, so you got to abide in the doctrine. So you can't just make up your own course, because you don't like this part, so you got to throw that out. And then just go with what you feel is right. You got to go with the scripture said. As it's written, he that believeth on me, as the scripture has said. Brother John 7:30, 7:35, 39. Bring it up.
2 John 1 and 10. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed.
Right, which in Hebrew is shalom, which means shalom, shalom in the proper way. That's how you greet and say bye too. You greet and bye. So hello and goodbye, shalom, which means peace. So you say peace. To greet and then peace to depart. Shalom. Get bid of not Godspeed. Read it again.
2 John 1 and 10. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine,
meaning they start trying to bring a different doctrine in, like the woman can lead, Most High and the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, the same people. You're going to burn in hell forever. That we're equal to the so-called white man. We're equal to the other nations. That's not bringing it. That's a different doctrine. All right. Good.
2 John 1 and 10. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. For he that biddeth him Godspeed is partaker of his evil deeds.
Yeah, saying peace, shalom, peace to somebody that's speaking for corrupt communication, which is things that are not in the scriptures that are contrary to the right things of the precepts, the laws, the faith, which our whole doctrine is based upon faith. That's the foundation.
And we were going into that a little bit. It's like I use the example, like if I say that it's okay to eat pork, that's corrupt communication. That's profane. It's going against the scriptures. It's an actual contradiction to what the scriptures actually teach.
Now it does say that in the last days some shall depart from the faith. We'll bring that out too. He's seducing spirits. Like I brought out a couple weeks ago about the flat Earth thing. Yeah, good, decent brothers that got taken away by the doctrine of the flat Earth, which we already knew about. We knew about the flat Earth doctrine. All right. So when the flat Earth doctrine came in, they got big on the internet. You guys, they're supposed to be competent brothers. They started teaching about the flat Earth doctrine. That's not something we teach. It's not within our doctrine. It's not in the scriptures. The scriptures say that the Earth is a circle. It's round. It's a globe. Right, we brought that out a couple weeks ago, right? Earth is a globe, a sphere, not flat. Then he had the whiteboard. He drew the dome, the meteorites bringing fresh water in and all that. Like that's not even in what we teach, nor what we ever taught, and it's not in the scriptures. Furthermore. they couldn't deal with I guess the rebuke. And they were dismissed, and now they back in the world. I don't think they have YouTube channels or still teaching. Or trying to get slick. Oh, we teach, but we don't record it and put it up. Okay. You're supposed to record it and put it up so that for everybody to see.
Yeah, what the scriptures say to publish, you know.
Yeah, public, yeah.
Yeah.
But we are the salt of the earth. We are the salt of the earth, but the salt had lost its savor.
Yep.
Wherewith shall be salted, roughly paraphrasing what it said, what the gospel said. So I continue, where we left off. Where were we?
How to work for Godspeed.
And I also got in the last days.
Yeah, look up Godspeed. And in Hebrew it's Shalom. I don't have my Hebrew Bible with me. Yes, I do. Find that in there. You need to give a bit of Godspeed. It should be highlighted, underlined, or circled, or something like that. I looked it up a little while ago. Alright. So you don't want to co-sign someone's, corrupt communication and behavior. All right, they have a different doctrine.
I can get a precept too.
And that goes to show you that, like, a lot of these guys, when we debate with some of these guys, they'll say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna pray for you." Like that's against the scriptures.
We don't even really get into debates unless they run up on us. Like, we don't schedule debates. That's
Other guys,
they do that.
Yeah,
but if they run up on us, like you were
Right,
saying,
yeah.
like if they approach us like now, like Jehovah's wickedness, like our apostles coined Jehovah's wickedness.
But they'll try to say, "Oh, I'm gonna pray for you," and you blah blah blah. But we don't want your prayers, and that's why we.
They're praying in the name of Christ.
Yep.
That's a demon. That's a devil. That word Christ can be applied to anything good or bad. So that's a generic title. The name of the Lord is Yahweh Shai. Right? And the Father is Yahweh. So we can't use Christ. You got certain Israelite groups that use the word Christ, like Israel United in Christ. That's corrupt communication. They're false prophets. You can't use the word Christ, and you were Israelite. You were Hebrew Israelite. Yashar Allah in Hebrew. All right. You gotta use the proper Hebrew, because our heritage. All right. It was written that He's going to bring us to remembrance, though we once knew this. So if He's bringing us to remembrance, why are we using Christ? That's something that we're the devil at. Get Satan out of the bag. Right? You can look like this image, but acknowledge that this isn't the correct image.
Yep.
It says Jesus is a Negro, not a white man, a so-called white man. All right. Jesus es negro no Cristo, no blanco. All right, and we got precepts here. Revelation 1:13, Daniel 10:5, Jeremiah 14:2, El Diablo. Spanish speaking brothers. This is the devil. This image is not biblical. Dumbasses. Now you got the black woman in the church anyway. They believe that this image is biblical. They hand out the watchtower, right? Mm-hmm. Getting on these simple ass, silly ass women. And silly ass men that are in the Jehovah's Wickedness organization. They hand out these. I don't know if they still do it. It's probably digital now, but when I was younger, they had the Watchtower magazine, a couple like 20 pages or 10 pages, little thin little magazine, like a little square, like that big. Yay, and no, not Kanye, but and they would have all these Caucasian-looking images of the Lord, of the Messiah, Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, with with so-called precepts and scriptures on there.
Right, but none of them displaying on the image, the true image of the Lord.
Yep. Right. And this is heavy in the Spanish community.
Right.
You go into any Puerto Rican household, Mexican household, they're gonna have this image all over there, and mainly not even this isn't even as worship as much as the Mary's worship. Yeah, they have Mary all over the damn house.
Right. Well, yeah, Mary and the Catholics, they basically, their doctrine is on like the saints, Mary, Lord, Our Lady, Lord, something universe. You got these cosmic names to worship Mary.
Yep.
Which there's no precept on worshiping Mary. We can break down Hail Mary. Bring that out.
Yep.
And we can bring, and it's what? Same word, Shalom. Shalom. But you got these ignorant people that actually believe that means worship. Go ahead, break it down what you're reading out in Hebrew.
Con, so it says Wala'a Tasha'alwa Lawa La Shalawam. So yeah, pretty much saying.
Cite the precept that you're reading.
Oh, Con, so it's 2 John.
Read it in English and read it in Hebrew.
Yep.
Cite where you're reading from.
Con, so this 2 John chapter 1 or
It's only one chapter.
Slakia. Yeah.
One chapter?
It's 2 John. So it says verse 10, if there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed.
Yes, we ain't supposed to listen to a dimwit, an imbecile that brings this image. All right, anybody that's bringing this image is basically a false, is a deceiver, a false prophet. All right, good.
It says, for he that biddeth him Godspeed is a partaker of his evil deeds.
Godspeed. Focus on Godspeed.
God, so it says
Godspeed.
Shalom. That's the
Shalom.
Hebrew word, which means peace.
Peace. All right, look up Hail Mary.
Yep. This is Luke.
Find that precept. Luke what?
Luke 1:28.
All right, and get into Hebrew.
It says, and the angel came.
I might have it circled and underlined.
It says, and the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou art highly favored, the Lord is with thee.
Right. So Mary was a special
Yep.
conduit to give birth to the Lord
Yep.
through her husband
Right.
Joseph.
And, and if I can say, you gotta understand, like, the scriptures talk about, a good name is chosen more than riches. You're known by your seed, right? So to basically give birth to a man that's gonna bring in his people and be a cornerstone for his people, that is a beautiful thing. Instead of having a son that's going to be wicked, right? So it is, you are favored amongst many women because you're going to give birth to a very special man versus giving it to basically.
Well, she was an elect lady.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Instead of giving birth to a gangbanger, a shooter,
or a regular Israel.
Regular guy.
It's not going to be written in the scriptures like that. All right?
Yeah, so
Yahushua, Mary, and Joseph is special.
Yeah, so there is favor to be found amongst
and it's a stumbling block.
Yeah.
All right, the Lord wrote it like that so you could be confused because this word is not for everybody. Only people that's going to understand the code are the elect.
Yep.
All right.
Reading again, it says in Luke 1:28, says, the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou art highly favored. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women.
All right. Do you have hail?
God, it says Shalom.
Shalom. Okay. Which means peace. All right. Let's see what Strong says Shalom means. You look it up with an H number, if you can find it, somewhere in the prophets or the laws. All right. So read the precept again. So
Yep.
it doesn't mean worship and
Yeah.
submit to.
Yeah.
Which you can just look the word up in the English too, and it doesn't mean that. It just means greetings, But people they are their minds are polluted with dogma
Yep.
and
Dogma,
different
yep.
doctrines. All right.
Yep.
It means peace. Because Mary was a special woman, just like Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Milcah, in Genesis, Milcah. When they honored her, find that precept too. When they honored Milcah, I think we were passing her name, but y'all remember what I'm referring to? She gave birth to children. They praised her because giving birth to the children is a great act. It's not so great now. Right? Because when our children are brought on this earth, they're cursed. Because the state is basically, the government is there, they worship feminine and homosexual demons. Right? Because you'll get more time for drug charges than you'll get for the pedophilia. You'll get more time for drug. So the government is ran by sexual deviants, all right, and feminine demon worshippers.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to bring out the definition for hail.
From where?
Merriam-Webster's.
English?
Yeah, English.
Spell it?
H-A-I-L. Simply says.
Yeah, you can't be stupid and be amongst our congregation.
Yep.
Maybe them other guys, you can be a fucking retard. You can't be stupid with us.
Yep.
All right. Now, there's certain basic things that will ease you into the knowledge, but ultimately you're gonna get college education.
Yep. This is hail out of Merriam-Webster, right? As a transitive verb, it simply means to greet with enthusiastic approval.
Right, there you go.
Salute and greet.
It doesn't mean to bow down and worship Mary.
Yeah.
Or any feminine deity or spirit. You know? Babylon be destroyed. Right there, the microchip, RFID. Alright. We got all the core signs in there. Alright, what else we got?
I got a precept actually.
What you got?
Show them on.
Yeah,
let me bring this out real quick. Just to this just literally cuts it completely. This is Luke. Let me get it out the Blue Letter Bible real quick.
What are you reading?
Luke 11:27.
What's bringing out? What is it bringing out?
That it says, "Bless not the paps that bear thee."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which they're trying to get. That's what they're trying.
Blessed be the paps that bear thee.
Yeah.
Oh, you had the women praising
Yeah.
Lord's mother.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a straight cut. So like, for you to say hail means that, then why does Luke say otherwise? You know.
Well, I mean, the verse itself says hail means to greet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's self-evident. But more so in not worshiping women. That's what this is bringing out.
All right, so
not to worship women or worship Mary specifically.
Yep.
Because deep in the Catholic Church, Mary worship is dominant. You have a lot of these Catholic churches that are led with a Mary title. Queen of Angels.
Yep.
Look that church up. You ever heard that before?
No.
Mary Queen of Angels Church. Mary Queen of Angels.
Damn.
Look that up. Mary Queen of Angels. What the hell is that at in the scriptures? That's directly the feminine demonic worship. Which that's not even Mary they're actually worshiping. That's an actual demon. Because Mary don't have those powers. Mary's a spirit just like the other women. She just happened to be a special spirit like the other mothers that were in Israel. All right? They gave birth to great men. Mary, is that in New York somewhere?
Church? It's multiple ones.
Multiple places?
Missouri, New York.
Okay.
It's like,
What, read the title of it? Mary, what?
yeah. It says Mary, Queen of Angels.
Where the hell is that in the scriptures?
Mary,
Now, the reason why I heard somebody doing a First Amendment audit in front of a church, and the church said Mary, Queen of Angels. I said, what the fuck? That was in Los Angeles somewhere. So I looked it up and I saw Mary, Queen of Angels. Like, where? That's not scripture. They wasn't worshiping Mary. They worshiping women.
yeah, I got the kind of the context on the Wikipedia.
All right. I didn't look that up.
It says, why is Mary called the Queen of Angels? It says the title derived in part from the ancient Catholic teaching that Mary, at the end of her earthly life, was bodily and spiritually assumed into heaven, and that she is there honored as queen.
Wow.
Yeah. The Roman Catholics, they also say Revelation 12:1. They think that's talking about Mary as well.
Right.
Which, yeah.
So she a queen, but hence the Queen of Heaven, which is the demon. All right, the Queen of Heaven.
Yep.
Is that in Ezekiel, the Queen of Heaven, or is that Queen of Heaven?
I'm not sure. My phone about to die. I'm gonna bring this precept real quick.
Go.
My phone died. It's Luke 11.
So basically, they're actually not worshiping the actual Mary, because you can't worship a regular human, but you can worship demons though, different spirits. All right.
It's Luke 11:27. It says, and it came to pass as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, Blessed is the woman that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. But he said, this is Yahushua, the Lord answered back at that woman, yeah, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it.
Well, he said, yeah, she is blessed. Read it again. She is blessed.
He said, but he said, yeah, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it.
Read the whole thing.
Oh, so okay. Verse 27. It came to pass as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, Blessed is the womb that bare thee, and the paps that thou hast sucked. But
you can other Israelites can bless other Israelites. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But Yahushua, all right, corrected or gave them more clear knowledge of who should be praised.
Yep.
Good.
He said, yeah, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of the Most High and keep it.
Well, he gave them that proper instruction. So it was more important to follow his teachings than to bless his mother.
Yeah.
All right, which his mother is blessed, you know.
Right.
All of the Israelite women are blessed. He was just happened to be the conduit for the Lord.
Yeah, but it goes to show you, like like yeah, there's a blessing there, but there's more important things that gotta be,
Right.
you know.
Don't make a doctrine around Mary,
that's
Queen
it.
of
That's
Angels,
it. Yep, that's it.
which is blasphemy.
Yep.
Which means slander.
Yeah, because they'll try to they'll go on the complete opposite spectrum of us and basically say, oh, you're women haters, and we know that women have a purpose.
Because they're
Women do have a
dimwits,
purpose. Yeah.
Because they're fucking dimwits.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right?
and they try to use that
we
to
don't
try
have
to.
to entertain
Yeah.
their stupidity. They're
We
just
understand.
fucking stupid.
You even said it when you first got here that women are going to be saved for childbearing. There is a purpose for women. Women have their purpose. The problem is women are completely out of order and not serving their purpose right now.
Right, and that's fine. They ain't supposed to. They're supposed to meet their judgment, and then they're gonna die the death of nuclear fire. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be out of order. You're supposed to be a wild beast. You know, you're supposed to walk around with your pants hanging off your ass, getting high and drunk all day, going to these demonic churches, being fooled with different doctrine and different demonic spirits, and then you get put to death after. That's what they're supposed to become.
It's a USB.
All right? Give me Ephesians, the first chapter. What, you had something?
You said you wanted to Queen of Heaven.
Precept?
Yeah, I
it's
do.
in
I
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah?
One is in 7, and
That's fine.
most of
I
them
don't
is in
wanna get
44.
All right, go ahead, read it.
Jeremiah 7 and 18. It says, the children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven.
Right, that's who they try to make Mary. Because it's really the Queen of Heaven they're worshiping, and they're using Mary as a figurehead to worship the Queen of Heaven.
Yep.
And that was a god that our people used to worship back in our Eve. We're of the elect. Because we're going to have 2/3 burnt, destroyed here in Babylon, America, and 1/3 saved. Which you have the elect 144,000, and which that's an exact number. Then you have the family and the other elect that are not of the 144,000. All right, so you have two numbers that make the 1/3. All right, the 144,000 and the rest of the 1/3, which will be more than likely millions of other Israelites. But you have an elect 144,000 prophets. All right. Okay. Adoption. Adoption.
You got to adoption already?
Oh,
No,
no.
look up adoption.
I got it, but he didn't get to it yet. Right.
Oh, yeah. Ephesians 1 and 5. It says, having predestinated us into the adoption of children by Yahweh Shah Mashiach to himself, according to...
Right there.
Yep.
We're adopting of children to himself. So read adoption.
Yep, this is the Greek word adoption, and if I'm pronouncing it right, huothesa. But the word adoption, in the Greek, it says adoption as sons. A says the relationship with the Most High was pleased to establish between himself and the Israelites in preference to all other nations.
Right, the adoption.
Yep.
We fell off. The Lord, through the Most High, through Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, brought us back to the Father and to himself. Because the Lord created everything that we see, visible and invisible. So he created it. So he followed the blueprint of the Father. To create an elect, to create 2/3 of Israel that's going to be destroyed here, but then brought back into the kingdom. All right, to create the wicked, to create the other nations. That was Yahweh Shai's, the Lord, the Messiah's responsibility. To create that all according to the blueprint of the Father. What?
This Ephesians 1 and 5. It says, having predestinated us into the adoption of children by Yahweh Shah HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will, to the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved.
All right. Grace. Look up grace. Kaitis there. Another word that's been abused.
Yeah.
All right, grace.
Good way to put it.
Meaning that, the law is done away with, which is not done away with. What's done away with is the penalty, so as long as we're under grace. If you're not under grace, you're still going to be judged by the law. And you can't, nobody can be, do the whole law perfectly. That means, so by saying you'll be judged by the law, that's saying that you're going to be put to death at its proper time, during the time of the martial law, the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, which the elect are going to be saved out of it. But 2/3 of Israel that's here in America, they're going to succumb to whatever punishment the Lord seems fit, whether it be the implant, microchip, the mark of the beast, Revelation 13, or they die of a famine, die in a race riot. All right? That's going to be their judgment. because they're going to be judged by the law. Now, if we judge by the Lord's grace, we're under His grace, that means we're going to be delivered, even if we get put to death. But it talks about the elect that will be beheaded. All right? Go ahead.
So the word grace, definition.
Titus, go ahead.
Yeah.
Read it.
Greek doesn't say too much other than just grace. So
No,
it says a
it says a lot.
I mean, it says a lot. I'm gonna read this. Right.
Go to the point.
This is grace. Definition 2A. It says of the merciful kindness by which the Most High, exerting His holy influence upon souls, turns them to Hamashiach, keeps, strengthens, increases them in Christian faith, knowledge, affection, and kindles them to the exercise of the Christian virtue.
Right, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's totally in opposition to what the world teaches grace
Yep.
means, which they just means, oh, you can eat pork, you can eat scavengers, you can commit all types of adulteries. Well, they kind of fall back on adulteries, but even though they committed adultery, but you can eat whatever you want. You don't have to worship holy days. You know, you don't have to acknowledge them, even if you can't keep them. You're still supposed to acknowledge them. All right, we have an order amongst ourselves, and that's not something that you keep when you first come in. You know, you learn about it slowly. All right, but go to the top. It says favor. Those are important words.
Yep. It says of the merciful kindness.
No, go to the top of the definitions.
Grace, that which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness, grace of speech.
Go ahead. Let's read all.
Yep. Goodwill, loving kindness, favor. And then,
Then it gets more specific.
yep, then it gets more specific. Of the merciful kindness by which God, exerting His holy influence upon souls, turns them to the Hamashiach, keeps
The Lord, Yahweh.
strengths, yep, keeps strengths, increases them in Christian faith, knowledge.
Christians are the anointed.
Yep.
All right. The word Christian means anointed. Anointed.
Knowledge.
Smeared, the oil on your head. Step into an office. Become a part of. Go ahead.
Says, increase them in Christian faith, knowledge, affection, and kindles them to the exercise of the Christian virtue. Grace.
Yeah, like a grace, you know, when you give in like a grace period, you know, you're supposed to like for example with the payment, right? They say, you know, you got this amount of time, you know, like until you reach the deadline, right? It's the same thing with Yahweh Shai.
Well,
Right?
it gives you favor,
Right.
so you can be strengthened and turn to Yahweh Shai.
God.
So the Lord's playing favorite, saying, okay, well, you got time because I'm favoring you because I like you to turn to Yahweh Shai and worship and to fulfill His will.
God.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
if I actually, this last definition here, it says thanks. It says for benefits, service, favors, in parentheses, a recompense or a reward, and that's what that grace is. It's a recompense or a reward to do the word of the Lord, because that's ultimately of that grace you're going to receive an ultimate reward.
Right.
Yeah, so if we didn't have, so the Lord didn't show us favor, we wouldn't have time to learn how to worship Yahweh Shai correctly. We wouldn't have favor. We wouldn't have that chitis. All right, that's grace. So we have to have grace, so we have the opportunity to worship Yahweh Shai properly.
Right.
To know His name, know the name of the Father, know His name of the Son, and what our duties and responsibilities are as Israelites. The only way we can learn that is if the Lord gives us favor. All right. So if you didn't receive the favor, that means you're under the law. If you're Israelite. Now, if you're a heathen, all right, and you're not an Israelite, you don't get any favor with the Lord. You're just on the course that He puts you on, and then you're going into slavery. And if you're in America, you're going to be burnt up by the nuclear fire. All right? You're going right in captivity, servitude. And you're going to be organized, and you're going to work under the Israelites. All right?
Got something. Yeah. This is Galatians 3:23. It says, "But before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Hamashiach, that we might be justified by faith."
Right. and to get favor, you look up schoolmaster. Look up schoolmaster. Where you at?
Galatians 3 and 24.
All right, so read it again.
Yep. This is Galatians 3 and 24. It says, wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Hamashiach, that we might be justified by faith.
Right, so we're being justified by faith. So we know like the basic things, don't commit adultery, keep the Sabbath
Right,
to the
right.
best,
Yep.
best of your ability. We can't keep the Sabbath really. High holy days, the Passover, we can't really keep the Passover.
Taking out the names a little
But
bit.
because we can't raise a lamb, kid of the first year, without blemish. They inject those animals with different drugs and everything. We can't. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It has a blemish. It's adulterated, so it's not perfect. All right. So now we know the basics. All right. So we're justified by grace and faith. Read it again.
Galatians 3 and 24. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Hamashiach, that we might be justified by faith. But after that faith is come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster.
All right. So look up schoolmaster.
Yep. This is schoolmaster. Definition says a tutor, an example, a guardian and guide of boys among the Greeks and the Romans. The name was applied to trustworthy slaves who were charged with the duty of supervising the life and morals of boys belonging to the better class.
Yeah. So where you get your morals from? You get it from the law. All right. Where you get your cleanliness, unclean and clean from the
Right,
laws.
right.
All right. So now, once we learn from our tutors and teachers, we don't have to be in class anymore and having our teachers tell us what to do. We already got the information from our tutor, which is the law. We got the information. We know how to operate. All right. Now we can be justified through faith and through the Lord's grace. All right. We didn't forget what our teachers taught us, which is the schoolmaster. All right. Which is the law. All right, so that's a heavy word.
Yep, the strongest.
We don't automatically throw all the teachings of the schoolmaster. We just throw it all out. That's what these people in the churches are saying. We just throw the schoolmaster's teachings out. No, we don't. We embrace it. Ones that what we can keep, we can keep. Clean, unclean. All right, and when we mess up, we know how to get clean again. All right, or we become unclean naturally. We know how to become clean again. All right.
Yep. Got precept. Another
Whether it be a sinful unclean or a sinless cleanliness. We know how to become ritually clean again.
Yep.
All right? Because we understand and acknowledge the teachings of the schoolmaster, which is the law, the prophets, the writings. What?
Yep.
That was it?
Yeah, I got something else.
All right,
Yeah, this is Romans 6 and 15. It says, what then shall we sin because we are not under the law but under grace? Yahweh forbid.
Meaning that we're not judged, the penalty, we're not judged,
Yep.
which could be death.
Yep.
Like the highest penalties will be death. Thrown, cast out of congregation, cut off from the people, which means being put to death. But
Yep. It says, know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves to servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness.
yeah, read that again. Just read it slower.
Yeah.
Years or so.
Romans 6 and 16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey.
Right. So if you're worshiping Mary, you serving the Queen of Heaven. What?
Whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness.
Yeah, and that's what the schoolmaster taught us. What the clean, unclean. All right, then Yahweh Shai took us further. All right, his teachings took us further. All right, and we're being justified by his faith, by his grace, his favor. All right, because we're learning about how to walk righteously every day. Keeping the Day of Atonement, we know that we need Yahweh Shai. If you kept the Day of Atonement, then you very well know we need Yahweh Shai for forgiveness of sins. All right, and that one day is not sufficient. Yahweh Shai is a more perfect sacrifice. Because Yahweh Shai is able to continuously go before the Father and get forgiveness of sins for us. All right, continuously. All right, so Yahweh Shai is a better high priest because he's in the heavens. He like what tells you that in Hebrews, right? Yahweh Shai can continually go back and forth and get forgiveness of sins for us. The high priest can only do it on the Day of Atonement. right? Or when he could, whenever he would go make an atonement for our sins, and the sins of Israel, which is once a year technically. But the regular priests, they would make atonement for our sins also, not just the high priest. All right. So they have to clean themselves first. Then they got to get a perfect sacrifice. Then they got to make the atonement for our sins, whether it be the high priest on the 1 day a year, or the other priests, which is whenever we wanted to, we go to the Levites and for a sacrifice, and they would sacrifice for our sins and clean us, and we'd be clean from our sins based upon the animal sacrifice. All right, but Yahweh, that takes time to do that.
Yeah, a little.
You know, the priest got to become clean, and it's a whole ritual that you go through to become clean. But Yahweh Shai, he's always in the heavens. He abides forever. He transcends, time and space. He can continually go. We get that in Hebrews since I'm talking about it. He can continue to go before the Father and forgive us of sins. Right? Daily. So we got like a high priest that's perfect, that can continuously ask for forgiveness for us on our behalf. Well, it tells you that, get 1 John 2:1. Read that, and then you'll get the one that's in the Hebrews. Got it?
1 John 2:1.
Yeah.
My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Yahweh Shai Mashiach the righteous, and he is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
Right, the Israelites. Right? He's not a propitiation for the sins of the world in respect to all the nations in the world, but all the Israelites that are in the world. All right? When you translate in the scriptures, it's like, what word are you going to use there? You got to kind of pick like what English word are you going to use there. So it's kind of a hard word to put in the English. With this cosmos there, or cosmos, cosmon. Not only so it's like a kind of a hard English word. Like, what are you going to put there? So whatever words you put there is going to be insufficient. Unless it's in the Hebrew, really. So, and then you still got to interpret it. So, because he didn't say Israelite. All right, it's referring to the Israelites in the earth that are scattered within the nations. All right. So whatever words you put there is not going to be sufficient. And then it's going to be based upon your own perception and perspective. Where you think it's a good word, it should be there. But world, maybe it was a good word back then. Not so much now. With the inclusion of the other nations in the salvation, that's what people teach in the church, which is incorrect. All right. Maybe you could have put congregation there, or strangers and foreigners. Maybe you could have put there. But then there's that issue.
Yeah, right.
So with the current controversy, so you're not really gonna have a good word here. That's why you have to have the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
Okay, to guide you. All right. Yeah, more you want to read on?
Yes, a little bit. Verse 3, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
What's on it?
250.
158.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 158.
Yeah, so you got to keep the commandments. Keep his commandments. All right. The Lord said, not one jot or one tittle shall in any wise pass from the law to all be fulfilled. All right. And that's not implying that the law is going to change. All right. It's just implying that there are more things in the law that needs to still be fulfilled, like the prophecies, the law and the prophets. All right. So, you got the precept I asked for?
You got it.
I had something similar, but
I
you
want
might have
exactly what I was referring to. You got to find that precept. That's the precept I want.
What is
Yahweh
it?
Shai, he can continuously go in for sacrifice. Yahweh Shai is the perfect high priest. He's our high priest.
Well, I have something that says a high priest, but
Yahweh Shai is our high priest. I want Paul's to explain it. All right. Yahweh Shai is our high priest. All right.
This should be it. Hebrews 9 and 11. But Hamashiach being come and high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered.
Start from the first verse.
God.
Yeah, that's very well.
Hebrews 9 and 1. It says, then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and in worldly sanctuary. For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle which is called the holiest of all, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna.
Yeah, so he's explaining to you the old and the new. All right, so we had a house, you know, which had the mercy seat, had the veil to enter in the outer courts. All right, good.
Yep. Hebrews 9 and 4.
Then you had the high priest. He would sacrifice for our atonement for our sins once a year. Then you had the other sacrifices for sins. All right, what?
Hebrews 9 and 4, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant, and over it the cherubims of glory, shadowing the mercy seat, of which we
angels.
Yep. Of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Right, I mean, they don't know where it is. Good.
Verse 6, now when these things were thus ordained, the priests went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Yahweh. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of his people. The Holy Spirit, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest.
Read it again.
Yep. Hebrews 9 and 8. The Holy Spirit, this signifying.
No, go back a verse.
Hebrews 9 and 7. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, right, not without blood.
That's a Day of Atonement. Right,
which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people.
Yeah, he offered for himself and then for the errors of the people. All right, so this is this sacrifice is insufficient. All right, so even though we observe the Day of Atonement, all right, we cannot fully. It's not reliable. All right, because we still have sins. We're still in sins. All right, even when we keep the Day of Atonement, that is clear as the sins from our previous. But as soon as we get done the Day of Atonement, we're going to sin within 24 hours. What?
Yep.
So we need a more excellent high priest, a more efficient high priest, which is the Messiah, Yahushua. All right. So this has nothing to do with the other nations. The other nations this is all alien talk to the other nations. All right. This pertains to the Israelites. All right. Forget the sacrifice, the first temple. All right. What?
Hebrews 9 and 8. The Holy Spirit, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was a figure for the time when present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect, as pertaining to the conscience.
Right. So yeah, because he had a conscience of sin, the high priest or any Levite that was sacrificing still was imperfect. All right, he was still imperfect. So that lessens the effect of what it could do. Yahushua is absolutely perfect. When he was on earth, and definitely when he's in the heavens, everybody's perfect in the heavens. Yep. There's no sin in heaven. Right? Even Esau is sinless in the spirit world. There's no corruption. Everything is in exact order in the spirit world. Right?
Hebrews 9 and 10. Which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of reformation. But Hamashiach, being come and high priest of good things to come.
Judah, too. He's not a Levite. Yahushua is a Judah. He's the tribe of Judah. Yahweh, right?
By a greater and
Give
more...
me the prophecy in Genesis 49.
Hebrews 9 and 11, but Hamashiach being come and high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building.
Yeah, meaning spirit. So Yahushua is spirit. So that's the perfect high priest, a more perfect high priest. That's perfect. Would you rather have imperfect high priest sacrificing for you, or giving forgiveness of sins for you, or imperfect high priest or a perfect high priest? A perfect high priest. That was ordained. Yahushua.
Well, I got a precept that's very similar to what you're saying, but further the point.
Hebrews 9 and 12. Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place,
One time.
having obtained eternal redemption for us. Woo!
Eternal redemption for us.
Yep.
Yeah, to the Israelites. Eternal redemption. It didn't mean 1/3 of Israelites, or 2/3, or 3/4. That's all of Israel. He retained eternal. You receive eternal redemption for all 100% of all Israelites. Read that again.
Yep. Hebrews 9 and 12. Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood
Damn.
he entered in once into the holy place.
Right, which that goes back to the old commandments of you had to give up a goat or give up a lamb as
He's a lamb.
as an
Yeah,
offering.
slaughtered, yeah.
But it wasn't that way. It was by his own blood that he gave that.
Yep.
And like you said, that's completely foreign to the other nations. They don't know anything about giving up a lamb or a goat for atonement of sins.
I mean, they'll appease their gods, but in the fashion of yeah, they have their own sacrifices
Right.
amongst their own religion and communities and all that. But when it comes to the knowledge of getting close to the Father, only the Israelites know how to atone for their sins through animal sacrifice.
Right.
The animal sacrifice was specifically for the Israelites to receive atonement for their sins, whether it be once a year or be in general from the other priest. All right. The other nations, they have their own sacrifices to their own gods. They don't understand. They would have to read the laws, but then it only pertains to the Israelites anyway. Because they're not going to get. If they make a sacrifice, they're not their God is not the God of Israel. Their God is they worship different spirits, different demons. So they're out of order when they do their sacrifice. All right? When Israelites do our sacrifices, it's to receive forgiveness of sins, because we know the sins that we committed.
Yep.
All right?
Hebrews.
Or we may not know the sins. We may not know the sins that we committed, but we know it's a transgression of some law. All right?
Hebrews 9 and 12. Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
What?
For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of an heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctify to the purifying of the flesh,
How shy would that manifest? What?
how much more shall the blood of Hamashiach, who through the eternal spirit offered himself without spot to Yahweh, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living power.
Yeah, how much more? Right? That's it. How much more? Yeah. Read it again.
Yep. Hebrews 9 and 14. How much more shall the blood of Hamashiach, who through the eternal spirit offered himself without spot to Yahweh, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living power.
Yeah, so Yahushua is a better sacrifice.
Yep. Yeah. Perfect.
And we read in 1 John, if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Yahushua, Mashiach,
Right.
the righteous. All right, some more?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hebrews 9 and 15. And for the cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
Damn, yeah. Read that again, yeah.
Yeah, Hebrews 9 and 15. And for this, because he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
I mean, how do you get around that?
I know, that's what I'm saying. You can't get around that. You cannot get around that.
So he's a mediator. All right, look up the word mediator. What verse you want?
What do you-
What? Nine,
Hebrews 9 and 15.
He's a mediator. So that means the New Testament is not in full force yet. All right, it's not in full force yet. So we're just in the beginning stages of you have to, in order for it to be in full force, You have to meet certain elements for it to be in full force. We're only at the beginning of it. I mean, we have favor with the Father, so we can be saved. Our sins are covered. So we're in that. All right. But when it comes to us being perfect, reaching total perfection, we haven't reached that yet. We haven't reached that part of the new covenant. So we're not fully immersed in the new covenant as of yet.
Yep. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like nothing really, like the people that the covenant is with, between the Lord and the people, that didn't change, but the covenant itself is what's changing.
Yeah, the new covenant didn't say that everybody on the earth can enter into the second covenant.
Not at all. Yep, not at all.
The new covenant is the favor that the Lord showed the Israelites, so we can be saved.
Exactly.
That's what the new covenant is. It's favor, and it's details to that favor. All right. The details are we're going to get the law going to be in our mind. We're going to be perfect. We're going to be become superhuman, so to speak. Gods on earth. Big demigods.
Yeah, we're basically going to be Yahweh Shah without all Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah is going to have that ultimate glory as the the head under Yahweh, but we're going to have that same like not that perfect sacrifice, or not basically not being
Yahweh Shah wouldn't have died if Yahweh Shah was never sacrificed. Yahweh Shah would have never died. The only reason we died is because we under sin. Sins. Like Adam would have never died if he never sinned through his wife. All right. So if Yahweh Shah was never sacrificed, he would have lived to be up to now. He'd have been born 2,000 plus years ago. He'd have still been alive right now. Perfect body. Body wouldn't have been breaking down and all that. He would have just lived forever. All right. But he was a sacrifice.
Got the word for mediator. It says mesetase, one who intervenes between two, either in order to make or restore peace and friendship, or form a compact, or for ratifying a covenant. A medium of communication.
Medium of communication, or arbiter. That's good definition. All right. So, the new covenant still only applies to the ones that were under the first covenant. So I want you to read that again. So there's more. That's for sufficient.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Read it again.
Hebrews 9:15.
I mean, it does say, like, in the Strong's, in this Greek lexicon, this is a medium of communication.
Medium of communication. Go ahead.
Hebrews 9:15. And for this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
Yeah, by means of death, so he had to die. All right. Sacrificed for them that were under the first testament. Go ahead, read it again. First testament.
Hebrews 9:15. And for this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
There you go. Israelite supremacy. All right, the other nations are not included. Only the Israelites that are scattered within those nations are included. They will be redeemed, whether they like it or not. They don't have a choice in the matter. It doesn't say, well, if you want to be saved, then you can be saved. No. Predestination. You read it. All of Israel is going to be redeemed by the blood of Yahweh Shah. You don't have a choice. Whether you a nigga in the world, you were Islam, you were one of them Caucasian Christians. All right, you within their doctrine. If you were Israelite, you're going to be saved, although not on the first go away. All right, you're going to die to death, and then you're going to get your spirit going to come back in a new body. Right?
I got a point. I want to look up that word transgression, because the only way that a lot of these other religions can kind of like try to make this work for them is they try to take the law completely out of it. They try to say, well, the law is done away with. Because when it talks about transgressions, that's specifically for the nation of Israel, because transgression is violating Mosaic law, and the only ones that were given Mosaic law was the Israelites.
Well, I mean, even if you take the law out of it, it still only applies to Israel. But that's the strong argument, though, that the law. But if
there's no more law. There's no more law.
If the law didn't even exist, still the writings of the New Testament, all the prophets, they still speak about the Israelites and the other nations. The Israelites being the elect, and the other nations going into slavery. You got the prophets, the writings, the writings of the after Malachi, they all still speak of the heathen going into slavery and the Israelites being the masters of the universe, or the masters of this verse. You know, the argument still fits for both.
Yep.
But they use that, the law is done away with for something to stand on. Well, I mean, if you inexperienced, you might, that could pose a strong argument. But not really. We don't even have to go to the law to determine whether the Israelites are the ones that are going to be the masters of the earth and the other nations are going to be subject. We go straight to the writings of the Gospels. All right, the writings of the letters of Paul, the writings of John's revelation, of Yahushai's revelation that John wrote. Clearly tells you that the other nations are going into slavery. All right, so we don't got to go to the law to tell you that your ass going into slavery, that you're going to be subject to the Israelites. Some of you are going to be getting your back whipped hard. Some of you are going to be getting your back whipped softer. Some of you might have a light stroke, but you're going to be in subjection. Thus said the law, the prophets of the old and new, meaning after and before Malachi.
Yeah.
All right, it says the same thing. All right.
This word transgression. It says metaphorically a disregarding or violating, and then it says of the Mosaic law. So
right, transgression means to go over the limit of something. Right, adultery means to change the normal use, to adulterate something. All right, you apply it to whatever. Transgress, alter, adultery. All right, you're transgressing what the scriptures say by saying the other nations can be saved. You're adulterating what the scriptures say. Old, new, the writings, whether Paul said it, whether Peter said it, whether John said it, Yahushua said it. If you're saying the other nations can be saved, you're adulterating the doctrine. You're altering the doctrine. You're transgressing. You're going beyond the limits of what the doctrine said. All right, so you're going to be held accountable for that. There ain't no scripture that says that the other nations are going to be delivered. All right, the nations spoken about that can be delivered that are under names that are not Israelites, or the Israelites scattered in those other nations. All right, it clearly tells you that the nations is going into slavery. All right, it clearly tells you that those that the brother just read, that those that were under the first covenant. That's who salvation is for. That's who the Yahushua was manifest for. Give me Galatians. You got a precept?
Yeah.
Where Galatians said, for whom, what I believe this is for. Go ahead.
Cons, with this Genesis chapter 49 and 8, it says Judah.
Go ahead, read.
Con, it says Genesis chapter
Then we'll wrap it up
49
after this.
and 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Yep.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thine father, it says, thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah's the lion's whelp from the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
Yeah, you got the controversy. The main character is the Israelites, but the Judah heads that in almost everything. But then you got Issachar too. All right, when it comes to the national world stage, all right, Judah heads most of the controversy. All right, but then you got the other tribes coming in. You got the Issachar because it borders Babylon, America. Then you got Gad. Esau tried to destroy Gad because that's like a stain in Esau's eye. Gad, which is really Gad, Reuben, and Issachar that had this land of America. All right, Esau the one that tried to segregate tribes. Well, they segregated themselves. Right, and Esau segregated the tribes. The tribes are supposed to be segregated in their own lands, areas. But
Con, it says Genesis chapter 49 and 9, Judah is the lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched, it says he couched as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? It says the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Shiloh, look up Shiloh. That's Yahushua. Scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the lawgiver from between his feet. So Judah is not known as a lawgiver. Levi is. So Yahushua, that's talking about Yahushua. Yahushua is the scepter. All right, meaning Judah has the right to rule Israel, the head tribe, mainly through the line of David, King David. All right, and the lawgiver, which is Yahweh Shai. All right, no Judite doesn't administrate the law. No Judite does that. All right, but well, you had some exceptions outside of Levi, but you had Ephraim, and then you had Judah amongst Yahweh Shai, which was Samuel. He had the ephod. Samuel wore the ephod from Eli. Well, he was lent as a let's say an honorary priest. Samuel. He was an Ephraimite. Then you had Yahweh Shai, was Judah. But he's the main priest, so he's not even a Levite. Right? And then you had Samuel, which he stood in for Eli. I believe Eli was a Levite, and Samuel was an Ephraimite. Give me that precept. Where's that Samuel? Samuel's beginnings, pretty much. Samuel's beginnings. I believe it gives you like a little couple of verses where it explains in the beginning of Samuel. Right, but before Eli's death, obviously. Right when Samuel's beginning. Should be your first Samuel.
Yeah.
Like the first chapter,
yeah.
probably. It starts off with Eli.
Yeah.
And then he talks about give Samuel a little some honor. Well, it talks about his parents first, right?
Yeah. It's talking about Hannah and Eli. Yeah. It's talking about after Hannah had conceived that she.
Well, you can read that because that's what it leads up to. It's not long. Read that.
For Samuel's first chapter or first. I mean.
No, not the first verse. Just read Hannah. Start from there.
Well, I mean, it's talks about Hannah right in the beginning. I can talk about when it gives birth to Samuel.
Right, after his birth.
After his birth.
It doesn't talk about him when he's a child too much, so it should not be that many verses. Well, she prayed.
Yeah, that's 27 for this child I prayed. It was First Samuel 1:27. There's only 2 verses of that though. It says, "For this child I prayed, and Yahweh had given me my petition which I asked of him. Therefore also I have lent him to the Lord, or to Yahweh. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to Yahweh." Right. And he worshipped Yahweh there.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Right. He was lent to Yahweh, meaning he was a priest. He's not a Levite. All right, continue.
Gone. So the Hebrew word for Shiloh is Shayalah, which means he who it is, that which belongs to him, tranquility.
Tranquility, peace. Right. A variation that goes down to Shalom or Shalom.
Gone. So it goes back to the root word Shalah,
Shalom.
which means it says to be at rest, prosper, be quiet, be at ease.
Hence tranquility. All right, continue where you were in Samuel.
First Samuel's. That was the end. Do you want me to start at verse? The second chapter or second verse? Yeah, second chapter. I mean.
That's the end of the chapter.
That was the end of the chapter.
Go on. Continue.
This is First Samuel chapter 2, verse 1. And Hannah prayed and said, "My heart rejoices in Yahweh. My horn is exalted in Yahweh. My mouth is enlarged over mine enemies.
That's our song. Go ahead.
Because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none holy as Yahweh, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our power. Talk no more so exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth, for Yahweh is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed."
This is a woman saying this. Go ahead.
The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumbled are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry ceased. So that the barren hath borne servant, and that hath many children is waxed feeble. The Lord killeth and maketh alive; he bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Yahweh maketh poor and maketh rich; he bringeth low and lifteth up.
Right, so it's not just Satan that does it; it's the Father. All right, go ahead.
He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are Yahweh's, and he has set the world upon them. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of Yahweh shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. Yahweh shall judge the ends of the earth, and shall give strength unto his king.
Why are you reading the Old Testament?
Yeah, and exalt the horn of his anointed. And Elkanah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister unto Yahweh before Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were the sons of Belial.
All right, so he did minister with the Levites. That was an Ephraimite that was ministering with a Levite, which is not really normal, you know. So Samuel was special in that respect. So Yahweh Shai is the same way, but even greater. All right, he's the chief high priest, being a Judah. Go ahead. And that's the way the Lord made it. He could have made the chief high priest a Levite, but he said, you know what, I'm Judah. I'm gonna invest this. The chief high priest is going to be out of the line of Judah.
Yep. Verse 12. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not Yahweh. And the priest.
So, I mean, that proved that Yahweh Shai can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Yahweh can do what he can form it however he wants. He can make it like he can make an occurrence to appear very odd, but it's you know, it was ordained by him, and it's righteous and proper.
And the priest's customs with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servants came while the flesh was in seething with a flesh hook of these teeth in his hand. And he struck it into the pan or kettle or carbon or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came hither. Also, before they burnt the fat, the priest's servants came and said to the man that sacrificed, Give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sottish flesh of thee, but raw.
Yeah, that proves that the other priests did sacrifices.
Yep.
Because you had the high priest that did it once a year, then you had the other priests that did the sacrifices normally.
And if any man said unto him, let them not not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desireth, then he would answer him, Nay, but thou shalt give it me now, and it not, I will take it by force.
Wicked good.
Wherefore the sin of the young man was very great before Yahweh, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord.
So they were Levites.
But Samuel ministered before Yahweh, being a child, girded with a linen ephod.
Right, so that was basically, he was like an honorary Levite. All right, what verse you in?
Verse 19 of 1 Samuel 2.
All right, read again.
Verse 18. But Samuel ministered before Yahweh, being a child, girded with a linen ephod. Verse 19. Moreover,
that was it. Ezekiel. That's how I wanted. I wanted about that Samuel was in a position of a priest. It doesn't say he's in a position of a priest. It's more. He's in a position of a priest.
Let me see if it says anything.
All right. Not the next verse that you're about to read.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything in the next verse. No.
That's the point that I wanted.
Yeah.
All right. Samuel was in the position of a priest, and he was an Ephraimite. All right. The nation of kings and priests. Exodus. And then it also says in Revelation, but ended on that. Exodus 19. And then it says in Revelation, nation of kings and priests. Kings and priests, it words it differently, but they meet with each other. One in Exodus and then one in Revelation. That's only speaking about the Israelites, and then we'll close it on that. All right, so the point is, Samuel, Yahweh Shai, and we're similarly, all right, even though we're not Levites. All right, every Israelite man is a priest. All right.
Got it. So this is Exodus chapter 19 and 6. It says, "And ye shall be unto me a king."
Go verse up.
It says Exodus chapter 19 and 5. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant.
Yeah, we are going to, because we're going to be the elect are going to keep it. Right? And then the rest of Israel are going to be born into righteous bodies. Go ahead.
Then it says, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
I mean, his treasure. All right, go ahead.
It says, verse 6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and holy nation, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Yeah, we're going to be a kingdom, meaning ruled by a king. A kingdom. Malak, what is that? How do you say kingdom?
Malakwa.
Yeah.
Malakwa, yeah, Malak.
When New Testament?
Yeah, Revelation.
Oh, you want? I got it in Peter's. You got it in Revelation.
A kingdom of priests, it said?
Yeah, Malakwath Kahanyam.
Kahanyam. Good. Yeah. Gohan. Yeah. Well, Gohan, that's his name. Priest. The variation of priest. Good.
It's Revelation 1 and 5.
Yeah, Garmy kind of looked like he was a priest. Gohan, Return of Super Saiyan 2.
The purple.
The green. Gohan Super Saiyan 2. So during Cell. That purple or green?
Purple.
Yeah, I know like Gohan.
It was a green one too, but
That was later.
that was later.
Later,
Yeah.
okay. When you first turned Super Saiyan 2, it was purple. But pull the pictures, pull both pictures up. You got Revelation?
Yep. Revelation 1 and 5. And from Yahushua HaMashiach,
Okay.
who is the faithful witness and the
Or
first
green.
begotten of the dead and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood and hath made us kings and priests unto Yahweh and his Father, to him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Kings and priests. A kingdom of priests. Kings and priests, so we're kings. All right, we gonna diamonds in the rough. We're like rubies, jewels in the rough.
Yep.
Covered up, with dirt. All right, but soon we gonna shine. All right, super, without melanin, so to speak. All right, so you're gonna see our brightness glow. All right,
I got it in Timothy or Peter's if you want it.
all right, did you get the green garment? See if you can find that one. The green garment. Gohan, or the older Gohan, I guess. Well, if that garment exists. Go ahead.
Is Peter's.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Is Peter's 2 is a further bring the point. 1 Peter 2 and 9 says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in times past were not a people, but are now the people of the Most High, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
I mean, it didn't have a name.
Yep.
They were cast off.
Yep.
Went to the outer darkness, and then the Lord brought us back into the fold.
It's Israel.
Right?
Yep. Israel.
Yeah, the other nations, they were always in the outer darkness. They were always- they were
Exactly,
already
yeah.
out there.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They can't be redeemed and be rebuilt.
Yep.
All right?
And this, but you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. It's a direct quote, I believe, from Deuteronomy 7, where it says the same thing.
Royal priesthood.
Yeah, we're a royal priesthood, a chosen generation.
Well, it says in Exodus.
A peculiar is also a peculiar people. Yeah.
No,
So that's
that we just read in
yeah,
Exodus
yep,
19.
Yep.
Go. And it was it. You showed it on camera, right?
Yeah.
Green garment. Yeah, that's how we gonna be. Of course we're gonna be with melanin.
Black
Esau,
hair, too.
Yeah, with dark hair, not gold blonde hair. We're gonna be with beards and garments. Where's the Yahushua? That's where they get that from. They get that from the Bible. All right, Gohan. Really Gohan should have looked like this, but they styled it up for artistic purposes and their own style. But that's how Gohan should have looked, priest. All right.
Yeah, he even got the girdle.
Yeah, the girdle with the gold. Yeah, see.
Yeah.
About to pack. Yeah. That's how you should look. Yeah, give them, put the fringes on there.
Yeah.
All right, well we'll leave it there. All right, we'll leave it there. Shalom.
Shalom.
Until next week. Shalom.
So,